Welcome back to the Venom Workshop. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to show you how to change the front brake assembly. We don't have to take the whole thing apart, but we're going to have to maneuver some things around to get the calipers and everything all off. The unit does come to you sealed, so I like to change it and leave it sealed so I don't remove any of the lines or anything like that. I don't want to do that, because then if you do that, you're going to have to bleed the whole system. Bleeding these systems is really tough because the lines are so small and the master cylinders are so small. It takes a lot to bleed the whole system. So I'm going to show you how to do it in a way that we don't have to bleed that out like that. We are going to lift a bit of the body up, and we're going to get our master cylinder down to a very small piece. So it's very easy to just go ahead and change. So I'm gonna get my tools and then we can get started. Okay, so basically what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna we wanna remove the front part of the body. We're not taking it right off, but we wanna lift it up. If we get it lifted up a bit, then we can move, then we can get this caliper, or this master cylinder right here, down through the plastic, so we don't have to take everything off or apart. I don't mind lifting the body up. So all we're going to need to do is remove our boot weld bolts right here. I'm going to actually drop it down a little more. So I'm going to want to remove these and these on both sides. So I'm going to do that. And you're also going to want to remove, actually, I don't like doing it like this. So I'm going to do it right. So I'm going to pop the seat off. And again, I have a way of doing things, and I don't like to try to skip steps. So start at the back. These are number 5 Allen key. Take all your bolts out. So you're going to need these 2 out. And we're also going to need a 10mm wrench, and I forgot it over in my toolbox, so I'll grab that in a sec. Because this, you're going to need a number 5, but underneath you're going to need a 10mm wrench. So now I can remove these other ones too. I've gotten that far. Remember, when you remove a bolt like that, put the nut on the end of it so you don't get mixed up which ones take which nuts. And these ones, you don't need a 10mm wrench to hold the back. You can literally hold it with your fingers. Just the one at the top you do. So I'm going to go ahead and just take these off. You'll notice I put my wrench underneath there to catch the nut so I can get it off. It's only because it's a locking nut on it. Like that. And again, just put your nut back on your bolt. Oops. Of course, I dropped my nut. There. Okay. Now I'm just going to remove the front ones. And again, we're not taking the body completely off. We're just lifting it up to give it a little bit of room. So we don't have to take off the handlebars or anything like that. Okay. Now, you'll also have to remove your gear selector switch, which is right up here, and you just need a Phillips screwdriver to do that. And we're just going to take it off. Once your screw is all the way out, just lift up on the switch, and then it'll pop off. and leave that little screw in the switch and kind of put it off to the side. I put it in my bolt tray there so it doesn't get lost. Now I just have to go to the other side and remove my boot well bolts, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead over and do that. But while you're on this side as well, you might as well go ahead and pull off your front body mount bolt, because you're going to do both on the same side. I want you to do the exact same thing on both sides. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to remove the boot wells, and I'm going to remove that front bolt, and then I'll meet you right back here. Okay, so now we have to remove our brake handle. So you'll want to be removing this. So you're going to need a number 10 socket and a 10 mil wrench. Put your wrench underneath. And normally I would turn the nut, not the bolt, but I actually want this nut to come up. And this is the easiest way to do it. And it comes right up there like that, you see? And I can take the nut off the bottom of it. And then I can pull that out and take my handle off. And I'll just put my handle off to the side here, and I'll put my nut on my bolt so I don't lose it. All right, so now what we need to do is we need a number 4 Allen key to take the perch off. And when you take the perch off, usually I tell you to leave both pieces of the perch together, but not this time, and I'll show you why. Okay. Okay, so that's loose now, and that'll hang off. Now, you're also going to want to cut the zip tie that holds all that together. We can always put a zip tie back there after. So I'm going to snip this. And we're going to unplug our brake wires off too. So we have it off, and our brake wires are right here. Just wiggle them off and pull them off the plugs like that, and then that's good. So now what you're going to want to do is we're going to want to feed this down underneath this body. Now what I have to do is lift up the body like that. Now we have some room, we can move it around, but what I want to do first is get the calipers and everything off and out of the way. So you come to the front of your machine, and there's a splitter right there for your hydraulic brakes. So we're going to have to take this bolt off here that holds the splitter in place. And we'll have to remove both calipers. The calipers are pretty easy. You just need a number 5 Allen key to remove them. And you need to snip this one zip tie down here. A little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. We're going to snip that one. And we're going to snip the other one too. And we're just going to zip tie them back. So just give me 1 sec and I will be right back. Okay, so we just need our 8 mil socket right here. And a number 5 Allen key. Oh, it's actually a number 10 socket, not an 8. It was an 8. Okay, and I'm just going to loosen that off. we go. And just pull that bolt out. Take your washer with it. Just put your washer or your bolt or your nut back on your bolt like that. Put that over there. And now we can snip our zip ties for our brake lines, which are right down here. We're going to snip them off on both sides. Like that. And then we can remove our calipers. And it's just a number 5 as well. And you're going to want to do that on both sides. Okay, and just let your caliper come off your wheel. Like I said, we're going to do it on both sides. So next is this one. Like that. Okay, remove that one. Let it hang down like that. Now we can remove our arm, our master cylinder. So if we come up here, everything's hanging down now. So we can actually bring this caliper through all the way through that side. Like this. So we're going to lift up our body a bit so we can get our master cylinder through and down. And you might have to do a little bit of wiggling, but it'll come down. Make sure you don't snag any wires or anything like that on the way down. And out it comes, just like that. And now our full brake assembly is right out, just like this. Now it's going to come to you just like this. Everything is going to look the exact same. So when you set it up, you want to make sure that your calipers and everything on the right side. So if you look at your machine, it should be facing just like this, exactly like this. You should have your lines. This should be out in the front, and then this goes straight up. Now, when we put it back in, all we're going to do is we're just going to slide our caliper back through there like that. Like that, and then we can put our handle back up. It's going to come with the handle on it. Just go ahead and take the handle off and the rest of the perch. And that will help you get it back up into place. It's a lot easier to maneuver around the master cylinder if there's not a whole bunch of parts on it. And that'll help. So we'll go ahead, we'll put our, our master cylinder back up through our opening. And then we can start getting our calipers back on. Okay, so let's get our master cylinder back up through first before we put anything on. So we're going to want to go back up through the frame, and you might have to maneuver the body around if that happens. It's just the way it is. And there's my master cylinder right there. And it might take a little wiggling and moving around, but it'll come through here. I want to actually get on. we go. Just like that. And that can maneuver back over like that. And that's where it's supposed to be. Now also we can go ahead and we can mount up where the splitter is. So we go ahead and put our bolt back in there. And that's our big long bolt with the washer. And it goes in like this. Like that. We can go ahead and start our nut on the back. And we don't have to tighten that up right away. We'll just put it on. And then we can go ahead and put our brakes back on. So our calipers can go on first. And when you put your calipers on, you want to make sure that the rotor is on, there's a brake pad on each side of the rotor, not just one. And I've seen it happen like that, so. So let's get my bolts started here. I can start my other bolt. There we go. And we'll just tighten this one up. And once you get these both on, you can go ahead and tighten them just like that. Now we're going to go to the other side, do the same thing. And all I'm doing, like I said, is just put my bolts back in. Now if those are both started, I can just tighten them up. Okay, now I can tighten this one up. Tight. Now before I go any further, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and zip tie my lines down again. It makes it a lot easier if you do it right now. And they just get zip tied right here. Now I'm just going to do the other side. Just like that. Okay, now we just have to tighten off our bolt right here. So again, we're going to need our number 5. Other hand here, makes it a little easier. There we go. I'm going to take my Allen key off. So that's nice and tight. I did push back my horn a little bit, so I'm going to straighten it out a little bit. There we go. So now all we have left to do is come up, put our perch back on, put our handle back on, and then just the body bolts, and we're good to go. So I'm going to make sure that's in place right. Yeah, that's good. This wire needs to come up to go to the perch, remember? And the green wire goes on top and the black on the bottom. Or the green wire toward the front, or sorry, toward the back. And the black in the front, like that. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's go around now. And we're gonna come back up and we're gonna put the perch back on. Okay. Now to put our perch back on, we just need our perch mount. It does have a little direction arrow, it says up. So obviously that goes at the top. So we're gonna go ahead and just start the bolts. Like that. And then that's a number 4 Allen key. There. So we can go ahead and tighten those up. Top and bottom. And tight. Okay. So now we can go ahead and put our handle back on. That's this bolt we'll need and this nut. So all we have to do is just put our handle in. Hold it in place like that. Start your bolt down your hole and then push it all the way down through. And then we can tighten that up. And when you tighten this up, don't go mega tight on it, because if you tighten too much, you won't be able to move the handle. So just when you feel it start to tighten up, that's all you need to do. Oops. I'm gonna kick my camera over. Okay. There you go. Now I want to tighten it all the way down though, so it goes down. Okay, just like that. There we go. And you might have to squeeze a couple times because we took the pressure off like when we did it, but now it's right tight again like it's supposed to be. Now we just have to put our body back on. So to put the body back on, we're going to do exactly like we did when we took it off. First we're going to start at the front and work our way back. So we want to make sure that that's in place. Like that. Sticker from the back one up here. Like that. I can take my 10mm bolt. Go ahead and put it in my mount right here. There we go. And now we can start putting in all our other bolts. Another thing you can do is you can put your screw back in on your switch. I can go right back up here on the top. And we just have to put our screw back in. Just like this. Okay. Now we'll start putting our boot well back together. And it takes the little bolts there with the mushroom head or the rubber gaskets on it. And I'm just going to put those on finger tight until I have all 4 of them on, and then I can tighten them up. Okay, then I'm going to do that in front and the back. Oops. Okay. Put that back in there. And then I can just tighten these up. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to take my 2 long bolts like this. They don't have any nuts. And they go right here. That, and then we have the 2 with the lock nuts on them, so this one and this one, and they go in here. I'm just going to start that one, so I'll get my other one started in there. And then I can tighten those ones up. Just like that. and just like that. So I'm going to go to the other side, put the other boot well on, and I mean, that's it. That's we've done it. We've changed the front brake assembly. So we're at the end. So that's how you change the front brake assembly on your 1300 watt.